Greetings everyone, hello and welcome back to Anno 1800 once more to, our late game city. I mean, there's still plenty of work to be done here, and we continue onwards right away with some juicy upgrades that I would like to do. Getting my engineer population a bit further up here, reducing my artisans. We have too many artisans, and artisans actually have one big disadvantage. They need goods that are primarily based on farming that requires a lot of space, like the beer, for example, like the bread, for example. They also need my soap that we are actually exporting, right? The engineers don't need that anymore. And also those artisans here consume fur coats that we're actually fully importing as well. The same goes with canned food, and I want to reduce those demands with that. Of course, upgrading some artisans to engineers will not reduce the demand for these goods, but it will pave the way for more investors, and this actually makes things then easier for us. So in this case here, let's continue with some upgrading. We can also, by the way, upgrade again people to investors if we like to. For now, let's actually push a few more, in artisans to engineers. And there's actually a bunch of investors that we can also get in again. And then probably also these guys here on their way towards the docks, right? So that we can also continue making this looking a bit more like a big city then as well. Probably also here by the river. We of course need to make sure that most of these guys that we're upgrading there right now do get that electricity access, right? It would be a waste if we upgrade people to engineers that don't have electricity then, because it gives me an additional boost of engineers and also of course the ability to upgrade them further than to investors. So we should make sure that most of them have this access then, right? Of course also these engineers here should be also on the colorful side of things. So I'm going ahead and we are choosing the colorful skin for these guys throughout the town there to make this look a bit more funny looking or friendly looking. That is the right word for it. Funny is not the right. And with that, perfect, there you go. Right, looks still a bit chaotic, but we're working on that as well, of course, as we progress through some ornaments as well. Very important, a new thing that I would also like to do here right now is, since we have now everything in with the brass and also the steel, I mean, bad timing on that. We're out of steel. That's because my iron is a bit too low. I would like to start with this with the steam machines that we want to get. So let's actually just reapply here the iron and increase its volume to 1100. And for the same goes with the coal, right? Before we do that, however, we of course also need to make sure that we have enough storage. We don't, so let's also continue with a few more depots just on that side of my harbor area here. That's another 200 tons, and with that we have 1150. Perfect. Now everything should be then ready for that machine. There is still this charcoal kiln. I'm going to get rid of that now, right? Makes room for more industry zone that we can now finally have then in this area as well. This one here we can actually get rid of. There you go. And then we have room here, probably in this corner, another warehouse. We should probably also get us in another fire station would be ideal. That building is just not having the right size really. And by the way, up to this point there's electricity, so if we want to add now the steam motors, we should make sure that it has the electricity. I'm only going with one for this, right? Because we don't need more. Let's move this a bit further. Has now everything. Perfect. We start the steam motor production with that. I'm not intending to export steam motors or sell them. So in this case, we're really just going to need them for some shipbuilding and also for some higher productions then as well. All right. Also on the list that we still need to do. First of all, is there a bit of loot? No. The first two royal warships are out again, the African Queen. And also this one here, let's continue with the construction of more of these. Oh, Tobias is coming in. I should actually stop with that because we want to have some timber left, some planks left for 500. I don't have 500. Still another trade cycle after this to get to the legendary status, but okay, that's just how it is. And also we have the windows in. Actually, the windows we could push also to the next level here with that kind of import that we have. Other than that, the sewing machines are still lacking a bit. That's because of the iron, so we don't have enough steel, so not enough sewing machines coming in here. Let's actually tackle this one down to 30 on the gold bars, because I don't need that much for it. And for the fur coats, we're at 60 still, so actually I also don't need to import that many fur coats anymore, right? So 60 is probably fine, and with that we can further reduce the amount of sewing machines that we export for now to have the maximum available actually for the iron here down. Perfect. That's something. We could also, to alleviate the sewing machines, right, we could alleviate that a bit with adding the advanced weapons, because for the 1100 only 28 tons of advanced weapons are needed, right? But of course, I'd rather go with the sewing machines because we want to level that up. It's a much higher value, obviously. All right. Other than that, this is looking all fine. We're capped on the grain. Yeah, and one more trade cycle, and then we get the planks to the legendary status. And with that, I can unlock finally a few more trade contracts. All right. All of this is running. Let's actually head back to the new world and hope for a white flag for a change. I cannot purchase any items here, even if I find good ones, because of course, look at that for us. There he would be, because the ship of course gets destroyed immediately. So for now, we can only hope for the RNG gods here to help us out a bit. Unfortunately, that's not the case. Share-wise, we're at 1.2 million. So I could purchase, yeah, also the next share. And with that, we actually have share majority for Princess Jing's main island and share majority for Miss Hunt's main island. Also gives me a nice, juicy 34,000. That's half my income right now, half my surplus in share income, right? And with that, we're sitting between 60 and 70,000. The Admiral just posted back a share. Actually, let's not allow this, right? We have spare money to do this. And also 4 more warships that we can now use to sell again. I'm not going to use them in any kind of battle for now, right? I want to push more money because that's actually way more profitable for us. The cool thing about the upgrades for engineers is that the spectacle production and the light bulb production is still far ahead of demand, so we can still push more. Also, the same goes with the penny farthings, right? So if we really want to maximize this, the same goes with the pocket watches, by the way. We can still go ahead and upgrade more artisans here to engineers. And yeah, let's have another bunch here, right? And there's lots of workers here. We don't have the population yet to actually maintain more. So let's go ahead and have these guys here upgraded. Very good. I mean, theoretically, also we could probably... Nah. Just have these guys here. Gotta be very selective where we want to continue with upgrading. Yeah, down here, these guys, and these guys here too. Finish that block. A resident quest I gladly take. And this is an Enigma quest. Select the corresponding building for that riddle. And what makes a ship go fast when it's full? The sailmaker, of course. And let's just check it out where I have my sailmaker, actually. That is a long time ago. And there we have finished it. And we do get hopefully a nice juicy reward out of that. The Thielmann's tube, 46,000. Other than that, it would boost the productivity for soap factory by 50%. I take that over selling it, of course. Also, we have sunk a ship. There you go. Take that pirate ship. And let's also sell those warships. That's 32,000 for each one of them. Once again, a nice boost. And this pushes us above 1 million again. Did someone purchase a share? No, we just really have that much money right now. So yeah, we can actually continue purchasing also the shares now of the Admiral here to continue onwards to 100,000 on income. For that, of course, we need to upgrade more people to investors as well. And yeah, we can gladly go ahead with this right here in the center. Having those guys upgraded and probably also those guys here. Right, we're lacking a bit of timber there right now because we're exporting so much too. Tobias is also departing right now.
Then I'll send it out.
I still need to make sure that 250 tons at least are getting exported with the next one. Because that is then the legendary, right? So the next trade cycle is what we are getting here for. Sewing machines is a problem. We have a surplus of 12 only right now. That's only 240 tons of surplus per cycle. It needs to be a bit more, right? So we might actually push the sewing machines by 50%, or I'm just building another one, which is something we can entirely afford. Space-wise, I mean. So let's go ahead and actually put this one in here somewhere as well. Probably, yeah, getting those bakeries over there. Alright, so this is once again a bit of a puzzle here now. We want to get the bakeries over. together with that. Oh no, wait a second. That wouldn't make sense because we're using the bakeries, of course, for chocolate production as well. So what we're doing here is I'm going to actually move the window makers up here. They still should have electricity. That's actually tight. Let's just try it like that. Move them down a bit here. This is fine, because there we actually still have those. And then I'm trying to squeeze it in somewhere here. Easy. And we have another sewing machines factory without any additional downsides here. That's fine. Not all of the window makers are actually reached by that, but that, I think, to me at least, is fine. We have not that many warehouses close by. The only one here. Let's upgrade this one once more. Have 4 loading ramps available. And with that, we have 16 sewing machines again on surplus. Of course, we're upgrading more people to investors, so this will then also further lower the demand for sewing machines. One more thing, champagne. As we can see, we have a surplus of 3 right now. That would be 60 tons of champagne we can export with every cycle. I would like to push this to 100 tons, because then we can actually upgrade the champagne to the next level within 10 cycles already. So let's go ahead and actually, build us the remaining champagne vineyards here. And do we have any boost for the trade market right now that I could use? I don't think so. Nope. So I do need some fertilizers and stuff like that for it, so that we can also use the trade union on that. For now, let's probably use the 50% boost on this. And then I just need my champagne cellar that we have down here. Once again, let's have electricity for this one available, hopefully, somehow. Oh. There was an explosion. And I still cannot rebuild this one for now. And we're also a bit out of bricks, so I might try to purchase some bricks of RG. There's also a bit of rum coming in. Nice, that's a good boost to my income that we can use. Light bulb factory, we need 1 more spectacles. Do we really need that many blueprinted? I don't think so. I think with 1 more we can actually supply the whole town with it. So in this fact we can actually get rid of these guys here, right? Save the space and also get rid of this road there, so I can have this one down here. And then I can actually squeeze in some 2 of them in this area too. Perfect. There you go, 2 more that we have, and both of them have then also that connection here to that warehouse. Let's actually push that warehouse a bit closer, so we can still have something non-electrified over here. This is then too far away anyway for any kind of electrification, so that should be fine. Now with that, 2 of them working, is that enough for my grapes? Yeah, it's almost equal. We would need 1 more vineyard, or we boost them. And with that, we have a total production surplus of 7. Let's make it 6, so that's 120 tons of champagne that we have now as a surplus. So once we unlock a new trade contract, we can use the champagne right away as a new export good for whatever we're going to need. Perfect. Now, the clipper is on its way to RG. Let's once more check it out here. This is impossible. It needs to come in at least once, right? It always came at some point. I guess we really need to spend a lot of money here on the re-rolling before this actually comes. And did anyone purchase the shares? Yes, Princess Jing, there you go. Right, and we should also be off cooldown with the Admiral once again. To also purchase once more another one here. We're coming in to 80,000 on the income. My clipper has arrived. Let's just get us some bricks here. Emergency income, emergency boost of bricks. And since there's no enemy ships close by, what could we purchase here real quick to make a good usage of my industry? Repair crane, no. Damage per shot increase. Residences, happiness plus 12. That would be great for investors because we don't need their workforce, but it's 182,000. And since we're constantly running out of coffee, this might be one way of actually boosting them up a bit here, happiness-wise. Let's actually get this one. It's not a production boost per se, but it's something that we're going to need anyway for a nice central town hall then as well. Alright, let's unload the rum. That's actually a nice one. And unfortunately, I cannot purchase plantains out of Madame Kahina because we simply have not unlocked the good yet, right? So I need to either find plantain, which is super rare, we could also just, yeah, really settle on a few islands real quick. And with this trade, it finally happens. We have everything ready. We have a lot of timber that we can export. We have the planks that are being exported for the grain. And with that, we have upgraded something to the highest level to legendary level. And boy, timber is now legendary status. With that, we even get a 1-to-1 ratio for the grain out of it. And since the volume for timber is really high, we could probably just go with anything else. Let's just check it out. Champagne, for example, in its basic form is a 1-to-10 for the iron. If I use now timber for that, how much more would it be? It's a 1-to-2. Well, alright, that's actually bad. So we're still going to use champagne. That's how valuable champagne is. Even in its basic form, it's more valuable than the sewing machines on tier 2. So this is a really good product here for exporting in general. Once again, out of sewing machines, oh, look at that. We also get specialists. I'm looking forward to these guys here. A handler for now only, but better ones hopefully are coming in. Yeah, we're stuffed with iron and coal now, because now we're using champagne instead of the sewing machines, because sewing machines is lacking a bit right now. Anyway, with the legendaries, we have two more export offices available. We can build one more here, right? And then we can, yeah, probably continue right away with another one and another one here. Actually, can we go with more? No. Right? And that leads to a whopping 3 more trade contracts. Amazing. 3 more, that makes... It gives me a whole lot more flexibility of what we can do. We also don't need to fiddle around anymore, right? So we can go ahead with a permanent brass import now that we're going to need, of course. We don't have that. Oh, we also have an attack. Probably just a small one. There it is. Now my anti-armor guns can also shoot a bit. They're doing a lot of damage to this. Right. And that was actually Miss Huntship, so it's probably nothing too valuable in there. Just back that share real quick. And that would be the brass now, right? That is very important that we keep this one going from now on at all times. The fur coats are in anyway. The tallow is something we still don't really bridge it, really. All of that. Just check it out there real quick. It's close though, right? It's so close that I don't need to worry about that. A few more pig farms probably. Upgraded with the silos. This shouldn't be a big deal. So we can just go ahead and give you a silo here. We go ahead and give you a silo here. So this is already doubling the productivity for these guys every single time. And probably a silo for you. And we still would have 2 more pig farms, so nah, we don't even need to build them. Right, with that we should get a nice boost here once the silos work, of course. To that, and then I just need 1 more rendering work, or... I mean, do we already electrify them? Yeah, let's just build this. I don't know, squeeze them in somewhere. Here, for example, right now. That's not an ideal location, though, for it. Could actually squeeze it in here. There's really no more space. I'm baffled. Yeah, I guess here by the coast. It's not looking nice. But it is what it is. This is not electrified though. No, it's not. We could probably electrify it though. There you go. Electrified. That's actually another 200% for it. And this pushes it now to a surplus. Perfect. With that, we don't need to worry about the tallow anymore. Another thing I would like to do now with this is grain. We are importing grain right now, but not so nicely, right? So now we are at 1000. We consume grain at a rate of 21. That's only 400 per cycle that we need. 450, let's say 500. Right, so 500 we would need. That would already be a maximum, and with this we could just keep the 500 tons of timber export to get the 500 tons of grain in that we need, right? That's all the grain we're ever going to need, and that means, yes, we can get rid of all of these grain farms here. This is beautiful. We get a bit of workforce back, but way more important, we get a whole bunch of new space. And this is what I was hoping for. Another thing is the potato farms. I mean, it's actually a waste to use the potato for a trade contract, right? Because we only need 7 tons of schnapps at this point, and that's only leading to 8 tons of the potato farms. That would be 4 potato farms, right? Boosted, it's actually less than that. I don't know, we could just have them somewhere and save the trade contract. I think this would be safer. Even safer than that would be to upgrade all of the remaining workers to artisans and further reduce the amount of schnapps that we need, right? That would be also a valid option here, and that's probably something that I'm going to do. Just upgrading as many of these workers there to artisans, further reducing it. Here we do have a bit of a marketplace problem. That's not a problem anymore because now we can move that marketplace a bit further over here somewhere, right? And have then also this whole row there going up, just along the main tracks here. This one's actually looking a bit wacky. So we probably need to move a few things here around as well to make this whole thing work. There you go, because there we have now this triple road again. And this one down a bit. Why do we still have this warehouse here? We don't need this anymore, since we don't need the grain anymore, right? These warehouses were there for the grain farms, so they are no longer needed. This one here, perhaps, we can still move up a bit. But that's also fine. And this trade union here, we also don't need anymore, right? So that's already a lot of additional space coming out of all of this. Perfect. This is just looking really good for us, because we can further now upgrade and further now build another district then when it comes to that. Alright, so that's the grain. We just need to make sure that we always have now at least 500 tons of planks in storage. Otherwise, this whole thing collapses again. Even though we have a lot of grain in surplus, so this is fine anyway. Culture, we export way too much for sure, so we can actually lower this a bit. I think bread leveled up. No, it did not. No, it did not increase in value, so this is not a problem. Then we got the hops running, the logs running now for the windows. This is really easy, right? It's just 100 tons of windows for my whole log consumption. So actually, yeah. What do we need those two trade contracts for right now? We'll need to think about it for a while. I mean, we could probably import even more logs to get rid of all of the lumberjacks. That would be something, right? That's entirely valid as well. Let's also continue with another Admiral share. With that, we're above 80,000 now. By the way, also above 20,000 population with all the upgrades. And since we're just upgrading already, let's also continue with a few more investors right here in the city center. Ceasefire has ended. Just around everything here, really, right? Pushing more of that, more income. For sure, and also of course a reduced consumption for some engineers goods, which is always helping out as well. Beautiful. So far so good. That was a nice progress. We continue onwards with legendary exporting finally. Still looking out for that white flag, and then we can find a way of using the space up here. I'm actually thinking about a museum as well at some point now, because we want to push attractiveness for more tourists to get more special items. Stay tuned.